Hey everybody, how's it going? It's your man here, Caterade5, and I am back for a different video of sorts for you guys. And today I'm going to be talking about this draft league that I'm a part of and what we're going to, like my team. So those of you who don't know, well, I don't think anybody knows unless you're on you follow my Twitter, but I'm actually participating in a draft league. Some of my opponents are probably going to watch this video just to get an idea, but I'm literally just doing this impromptu, so I'm literally just going to go and show down and just kind of show you guys what I was thinking at each pick, because I explained it kind of in the Discord that none of you guys were probably in when it was drafted, but I'm comment if you're interested in me recording this, because I actually have to upload the replay of the battle anyways. So I'll probably just record it, see how that works. But yeah. So my friend Noah, or Piger123, is running the league. It's based off the UCL, the whole draft style. You get 3 in the current state, 3 OU Mons, 3 UU Mons, 3 RU Mons, and 3 NU and below Mons. So I actually have not literally touched Gen 7 meta other than the 3 Wi-Fi Wednesdays we had last year on the channel, which I don't even know if I'm bringing those back, so don't ask. Anyways, as you can see, we have our team here. And I was really, really happy with my 3 OU Mons. So going in, I was kind of just looking around the internet. I know there are definitely some very prominent, very good draft league players out on YouTube, and they always do their team previews. So on one of the previews, I'm not going to say who it was because I'm not trying to give away my whole strategy, but it's a draft league that just started, so it's kind of recent. So there he said that he listed off a bunch of OU Mons that you would get the first overall pick for. And if you draft that Mon, it's kind of one of the best. So he listed off maybe 5, 6, 7 Mons, and I got 2 of them. So I had the 4th. This is just my desktop. If you guys can't notice, this is just, as I said, impromptu. So my first pick, the first choice that I had, which if I would have gotten the first overall pick, I would have picked this Mon, just because I think that, I don't know, I just want to check off as many things as I can. And one of the things that I really want to do, because this really screwed me over in the previous draft league that I did, which was 2 years ago. That's besides the fact. But I wanted to have Mons that can U-turn, volt switch, and just switch it in and out just to keep momentum up, because if you see that, that's really very important when it comes to draft leagues. And obviously some of you guys don't know that, but hopefully in my battles I can make that work. But first up, I picked Coco, Tapu Koko, and here's some reasons that I picked it. It can be ran mixed, I guess. I'll probably run it physically just because it's got the 20 boost, but specs, that's going to be not a special attack stat to scoff at. If you take a look, though, the main reason why I drafted this Mon is because the speed. There are definite speed tiers when it comes to Pokemon, and Tapu Koko definitely is in the top speed tier. And it's a fairy type. You need a fairy type, and obviously with the team that you guys will see, I actually ended up getting 2 fairy types. So there's that. So first up, Tapu Koko is very versatile. It gets so many good moves, should I say. It can set up with Calm Mind. It can defog. That's another thing. It defogs hazards, which is very important. I don't care what team you have. I don't care if your team is weak or good against hazards, which looking at my team right now, it's actually not that bad. I only have one Mon that would take like boosted damage, I believe, against rocks. I think so. And Tapu Koko isn't one of them, and it can actually get rid of hazards with Defog. The only bad thing is I don't think anybody that I got knows Rapid Spin, because for those of you guys who don't know, Defog clears all the hazards, the ones on our side of the field and their side of the field, whereas Rapid Spin just does the ones on our side of the field. But that's besides the fact. We have Defog here, and as I was just saying, I'd be okay not having hazard removal for some battles if I end up bringing a team that's fairly good against hazards, doesn't take that much damage from Stealth Rocks, mainly is the one that I was kind of trying to get at, but because it's just literally just one thing you set up and it's like great. You just have a lot of stuff. Obviously, you have Nature's Madness as well, and I actually almost drafted that Tapunium Z as my Z Crystal. So what happens is, like, you draft one Z Crystal, and that's the only Z Crystal you get to use. But you can use it on any Mon that you want. I almost did Nature's Madness, and I didn't notice. I was like, hey, Nature's Madness just takes out 75% of their current HP. Where Guardian of Alola, compared to Nature's Madness, is half of their current HP. As you can see, here's another thing. If I want to be physical, I can put U-Turn on there. If I want to be special, I can put Volt Switch on there. And I think that is definitely very important as well. I just want to make sure. Okay, yes. Wait, how long has it been? Because I feel like this video is going to go on forever. It's been 7 minutes already. Let's try and speed this up. So next pick, I wanted to get something that synergizes really well with Tapu Koko, and I probably got the best Mon, and this was also listed in probably one of the best, some of the best Pokemon in draft leagues, and this is Mega Latios. And do you want to see why Mega Latios is so good? And yes, obviously it's a Mega. Just look at the stats. Like, this stat total is insane. Like, the only one you have less than 100 in is HP. And this Mon isn't supposed to be a bulky Mon, but it's probably bulky offensive, but it's also got 110 speed. So, like, where is this Mon's weakness? That's the thing. So, I could honestly run physical if I wanted to. I could honestly run, well, definitely special. Speedy Mon, obviously I can't put another item on it. I almost drafted this Psychinium Z, and I was like, wait, hold on. Mega Latios cannot have another item on top of the Latios site. This Mon's very versatile. Let's just take a look at its moves. Draco, Dragon Dance. If I wanted to be that guy, Dragon Pulse, obviously EQ. So as you can see, opening up both. I could honestly run a mixed, honestly, if I wanted to. Energy Ball. Obviously, any hidden power. Ice Beam. It's actually got screens, which is good if I ended up wanting to run a bulky Latios, which I probably could if I wanted to. You got Psyshock, Recover, Reflect, Return Shadow Ball, Shadow Claw for both. You've even got Tailwind, a form of speed control, which is another thing you need in Draft League. Speed control. I didn't even know this Mon got Tailwind. I wanted to do something else with speed control, and I'll show you guys that later. You have Substitute. Okay, I think I already went through this. I don't think Trick would work, obviously. This Mon. And finally, so my last OU pick. I got Heatran, which is one of the best steel types, probably other than Magearna. And maybe I was debating picking Celesteela over Heatran, but I picked Heatran because it's also a fire type and it works with a fire, water, grass core. But this also completed the Dragon Fairy Steel core and its OU mods, and this is probably, like, just in OU in general, probably one of the best Dragon Fairy Steel cores. Even though Coco's not really defensive, and that's why I picked another Fairy-Mon, which I will show you guys later, which will probably be more so my Fairy in that core, but still. Heatran, I mean, you kind of know what you're going to get from this guy. Like, if you put an Air Balloon on this, on him. He's really only got one weakness in fighting, I'm pretty sure. Steel resists water, resists rock. I don't know what else. Kind of dusty when it comes to knowledge. And we also get a lot of coverage. We get Will-O-Wisp. We get really defensive moves. On top of, obviously, we get Stealth Rocks, which is very important. So there's that. Nah, so that's OU. I could probably just send these three into a battle and do some damage with these three. I definitely can tell you right now, if I had these three versus a full team of 6, I would at least kill 4 mons, probably, if I played correctly. So there's that. So now we go on to UU. I had the first overall pick for UU. And I know I didn't get the best UU mon. There's Infernape, Hydreigon, the best 2 mons in UU, in my opinion. Definitely. I already had a fire type. I already had a dragon type. Infernape and Hydreigon are very versatile, and that's another thing that you really want in a draft league. Don't worry, that's out of the way. We got Suicune. Now, I don't know about you, but Crocoon is disgusting. Like, you don't want to go up against this thing. So many moves that I could use with it, but it's just bulky. Like 115 defenses, nothing to scoff at. It's actually got the same base defense total as Megaladios. Heatran 106. Like, go on. I think this is very good. Suicune also has pressure. Whatever. Another form of speed control and Tailwind. It's just, Suicune's honestly just a nuisance, and I really like that. And in draft leagues, for those of you guys who don't know, bulky water is needed, and I got the best bulky water out there. In my opinion, Suicune is the best bulky water because it does everything that a bulky water needs to do, which is eat up hits, and it can also do a little bit of damage back. It can also put in speed control, and it can also set up screens. It's got Reflect. It does not get Light Screen, but still, in a physically based meta, which it is, in my opinion, that's very good. So now we have Reuniclus. I drafted Reuniclus because it is so good in draft league. Like, I almost, if I hadn't gotten the first overall pick in UU, I probably wouldn't have ended up getting Suicune, and my next pick was going to be a Alomomola because it's got Regenerator as its ability. And guess what? Smon gets Regenerator. It also gets Magikarp, but I'm definitely sticking with Regenerator. It's very versatile. It sweeps, especially. If I wanted to run a slow team, I believe it gets Trick Room. There we go. Just look at all of the moves that this Smon can learn, which is insane. And I know it's not the most bulky, but it's nothing to scoff at in my opinion. And if you're feeling bad about what you're doing, you're getting low, boom, switch out, gain 30% back with your Regenerator, and you're good as new a lot of the time, which is very good in my opinion. So next, I got sniped. Well, actually, I had the wheel pick with Reuniclus and Hippowdon. I picked Reuniclus because, okay, I knew I wanted Reuniclus. The other mon that I wanted was Gliscor, and guess what? Gliscor was taken from me. I wanted a flying type because at this point in the draft, my team is weak, very weak to ground types. So I wanted to get that mon that could resist. Obviously, we already had Levitate, which was a switch out, and a water type, which doesn't actually resist it. But we had, obviously, Heatran, who's deathly afraid of anything ground related, and also Tapu Koko, who's not the most bulky mon out there. So I wanted something to resist ground attacks, or just completely move them out of the way. But I also wanted a ground type itself, because it's like, this league is ran by ground and fairy types. So I got 2 fairy types. So I wanted a ground type before I went into RU, and I would have slim pickings for a good ground type. So I got Hippowdon, which does a few things that I really wanted. One of which is change the weather. And obviously, I might just run Sandforce just so the rest of my team just doesn't take sandstorm damage. But against a team that might want to say, hey, this guy looks really weak to, I don't know, Sun. Let's have a Sun team. Nope, I can just switch in and use Sandstream. Obviously, Mega Rayquaza, Primal, Groudon, and Kyogre are both banned. They're all in Ubers, so that, well, Mega Rayquaza isn't anything goes, but the rest are in Ubers. And we have a solid defensive wall, not so much for special offensive, but what can you expect out of a ground type? You can also dole out some pretty good physical moves with attack. Not the most versatile mon, but it still gets the job done. It gets EQ. I believe it also gets rocks. Yes, it does. Whirlwind too. That's actually pretty good. I wonder if any of my other mons get that. I didn't even think about that when I was drafting. Thank God I got at least one mon that can just switch out a sweeper. Like, there's that. So that was OU. Now that was OU and UU. Now going into RU, I had a very good idea of the mons that I wanted to draft. I wanted to get a dark type. I wanted to get a bulkier fairy type, in specific one mon that I knew I wanted because it was amazing that it wasn't an RU, and I wanted a grass type. And I wanted a very certain grass type who's very near and dear to my heart, which, for those of you guys who don't know, I played UU so much during 6th gen. So, I mean, I didn't really use these two at all, but I used a ton of Infernape, I used a ton of Hydreigon, so I know the damage that they can do. I know UU. UU is my place. It seems weird to say. But I had a decent pick, I think, in RU, and I knew I just wanted to get this mon because I knew it'd be picked right away. There were definitely some teams that didn't have a fairy type at this point, and trust me, you need a fairy type, and I wanted it to be bulky. And Florges has been used so well in so many draft leagues. I was thinking I might as well pick this thing up because it is like amazing. It is so good. It's a cleric. It gets aromatherapy. It gets defog, another defogmon, and it gets synthesis. So it gets stuff that a lot of really annoying walls get, which is recovery. Being a cleric, it clears stuff and also gets heal bell. Okay, well, I don't think we're gonna need to run both aromatherapy and heal bell, but there's that. So that's kind of more the fairy type that I wanted for my Fairy Dragon Steel Core. I don't really want to get a fairy in RU because, come on, really? Like, in my opinion, just, it's annoying. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. But next up, I wanted a dark type, and I was debating between Mandibuzz and Umbreon. I think either Umbreon was taken or I was like, hey, Mandibuzz, surprisingly, has very good defenses. I didn't even know that Mandibuzz had that good of defenses until I looked at it. I was like, hey, I know this thing used to be UU in Gen 6, so might as well draft it. It's also a flying type, so we have 2 ground immunities, which is huge, in my opinion. And just, it's got 105, 95, which isn't bad, but it's also got a good, solid HP stat, which is needed. And I think, I don't remember what else I drafted. I just needed a dark type because my team at this point was very weak to dark and very weak to ghost. So getting a dark type would solve that problem, and I actually got another dark type. Just as more so as a fighting type than a dark type, but I'll get into that later. And finally, I wanted to pick Shaman so badly. I love a Shaman. I loved using it in Gen 6. You guys, if you looked back on the channel, you'd be amazed in how many teams I just stuck Shaman in, and I just loved it. I loved using it. So, unfortunately, I didn't get it. It got sniped in the first round before I got my second pick, and I wanted my second pick to be Shaman because I knew it wasn't gonna get through. And being obviously the age that all of us are, we're all pretty much in the same age level, probably just around 3 years apart. I grew up in Gen 4, so I knew Shaman was gonna get taken, and it just got taken before I could get my grubby little hands on it. So I decided to pick Mandibuzz because I thought, hey, Mandibuzz has a greater chance of being chosen than my backup Grassmon, which was in fact Serena. And Serena is surprisingly bulky. Like, if you look at its, like, 98 is nothing to scoff at. 72 is pretty good as well, and it hits hard. It's got a 120 attack stat, which is good. Oh, never mind, that's a double battle move. But we have acrobatics. Actually, no, it's not. Queenly Majesty. No priority moves can come at me while this thing is out, which is cool. It's another cleric. You can see it gets a lot of moves. It also gets U-turn, which is a slow U-turner. And another thing that on top of the the Volt Turn core, it's a slow Volt Turner, which is cool because I can take the hit and then, like, I'll take the hit, whatever my opponent comes at, and, like, uses against me, and then I can switch out, and it's basically a free switch-in. And it's, like, well, obviously, just any U-turn is good against when they switch out. Like, they switch out, I'll U-turn, and then I get to choose, hey, who comes in now? So there's that. So after, RU, like, there were 2 mons that I wanted in NU, and then I was gonna try and get, like, a mon that could do a few things. So I actually got the first overall pick in the NU draft, and I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna pick Ditto because I don't want my opponent to have Ditto, and Ditto is incredible. Now, obviously, yeah, like, obviously there's that. But if we look, just put Imposter there real quick, give it transform, and transform. And there's that. So if we look at Ditto, it's got Imposter. So I send it in, and literally it just takes the form of that mon. So one of the things is if they're trying to set up, number one, we have Whirlwind on Hippowdon. I think Suicune also gets Roar. I'd have to check that though. But Ditto can take the stat changes that they already have used. So let's say they're +3 from Swords Dance. Okay, my opponent is. I can send in Ditto, get the Imposter, and guess what? I'm also +3. So you better not mess with me. Other than that, it's a very good form of information. I can just send it in and just say, oh, here's my opponent's moveset. Let's go ahead and write that down. So, like, okay, let's say they have, I don't know, what's a good versatile mon? Nidoking. I'm going to send my Ditto. Well, Ground is going against Poison, but whatever. I'm going to send in my Ditto and see, oh, Nidoking has these 4 moves. Oh, Nidoking doesn't have this move that would counter a mon that's super effective against it. So I'm going to switch into that mon, and guess what? My opponent's retreating, and I'm on the front foot. And that's one of the things that Draft League is very, like, that's what it's like. You want to keep momentum. If you can keep momentum throughout the battle, You have less of a risk of having something stupid happen to you. If something stupid happens to you, hey, guess what? You only lost the momentum. You didn't actually lose a mon. And now hopefully with your team with Volt Turn Core, you can put yourself in a position to regain that momentum. So that's kind of my little rant, lecture, whatever, on momentum. I also just noticed all of my RU mons have to be female. Okay. So, after Ditto, I wanted to get Scrafty so badly. More so as a fighting type, because if you look at the team, obviously there are mons that can be ran either way, like Tapu Koko, Latios if you wanted to, and Hippowdon's more of a wall, so is Heatran. So most of my physical mons were walls. So I didn't have same with Serena. So I didn't have an all-and-out just attack mon. So that's why I drafted Scrafty. I actually had Scrafty in the previous draft league that I had done. So if we look, it just gets so many moves. It gets so many setup moves. It gets Dragon Dance. It gets Bulk Up. I know it gets another setup move. Come on, don't fail me now. I know it gets another setup move. Maybe it doesn't. It gets Super Fang. Huge against walls, okay? It gets Toxic, so it can literally be anything. But if you get 2 Dragon Dances set up on a Scrafty, watch out, because I will have the moveset to just destroy the rest of your team. And that's another thing that I needed to have. I needed to have a setup sweeper. And lo and behold, I got it. I got what I wanted. I also have Power Up Punch, so if I need to set up without having an actual setup move, I can use Power Up Punch. It gets Knockoff. It gets so much coverage. Ice Punch. Like, I don't even want to go through all the moves. I also have Taunt. So if you want to try and paralyze me, well, guess what? You can. If you switch in a wall, I'm going to taunt you, and then you can't do anything against me. Also gets Shed Skins and Moxie. So that's even more of a setup sweeper. But I can also, as you can see, run a defensive Scrafty. Although it gets destroyed by a fairy type. Guess what? I believe it gets Poison Jab. Yes, it gets Poison Jab. So you can use that. So I go in and just destroy. I can also use it defensively, as I just said. Run Intimidate on it, or Shed Skin, or I could just do like kind of a mixed hybrid. So there's that. So finally, what I wanted, I had type coverage that I kind of wanted to get, and I wanted to get 2 more things, and the only mon that would have actually done that was Ariados. I didn't want to draft Ariados because Ariados is bad, but I wanted a poison type, so if I switched into Toxic Spikes, I wouldn't have mons badly poisoned every single time I switched them in. And I decided, hey, Ditto can serve that purpose literally right away. If their team uses Toxic Spikes, I can just switch in Ditto right away and say, hey, here's my poison type. You don't get to have your Toxic Spikes on our side of the field. So I was thinking, okay, that's fine. But if they have a very menacing poison type that probably uses Toxic Spikes, that means I kind of have to bring Ditto, which is the only bad thing. But guess what? You can never have enough bulk in a draft league. And the other thing that I wanted was another form of speed control. Obviously, we already have Trick Room. We already have Tailwind. But nothing to slow down their team. And guess what I got? A way to slow down their team other than using like Scary Face or something like that, which can work, surprisingly. So here's Shuckle. Now I actually had Shuckle before in a draft league in an attempt to bring in more bulk to my team. Yes, I know it has a piss poor 20 HP stat. Okay? I don't care. Guess what? It's got 230 defenses. And guess what? It gets the move that I want. That's called Sticky Web. So every time it's an entry hazard, and when your opponent switches in, their speed is lowered by 1. So that's kind of the reason I wanted it. Plus, I did not have a bug type. I did not have a rock type. So I think it probably checked off the most things that I wanted. Plus, we have Resto Chesto, and nobody wants to see a Shuckle that has Resto Chesto. So there's that. And finally, we drafted Z Crystal. Sorry, pardon me. I have not gotten my bearings straight on Gen 7 yet, even though Gen 8's going to come out in a year. We drafted one Z Crystal, and luckily, I almost drafted the Psychinium Z, and I was like, wait, Mega Latios can't have that. I almost drafted the Tapunium Z, and I was like, wait, if I use a Z move, I want to knock out the Mon that I'm using the Z move against. And Guardians of Alola does not do that. So then I looked at, hey, I want Tapu Koko to be able to use the Z move, because a Tapu Koko Z move will, oh, pardon me, I'm just playing with my water bottle, so that my mic's not going to pick that up. But Tapu Koko will run a house with the Z move. Just trust me, it will. And there's no other Mon that can really do that. So that's why I got myself the Fairium Z. And the reason I got myself the Fairium Z is obviously we have what? Play Rough here. Do I not get Play Rough? What? This thing doesn't get Play Rough? Whatever. Dazzling Gleam. We can use it specially. So I can go ahead and just use a Z move like that. So, that's why Tapu Koko's run specially. I knew there was a reason, because I knew Tapu Koko was always ran specially, and then they don't give him Play Rough. He'd probably be in Ubers, though, if he had Play Rough. Plus, like, it's not much. Plus a Specs. If we put Specs on that and not as a move, boy, that's scary. And we also have Florges. And Florges, although, I mean, it's got a decent special attack stat. Trust me, 112 is nothing to scoff at. Obviously, I picked it for special defense, but 112, that thing can lay out a pretty nasty Moonblast. So there's that. And I think that's it. So the first team I'm facing is Jacob's team. And can I do this without looking bad? Whatever. No, I don't like Kanye. But I'm the Anaheim Mucks. Also, I can show you my logo. I get that. But facing Jacob, which is the Chicago Chandelures. So facing this team. So tune in for that match. I have to have it finished by Saturday. So probably try and upload it to YouTube at some point. But with that, I think that's it. So thank you guys so much. Oh, I was gonna show my logo. Can I do this without exposing myself? Probably not. I don't care though. It's in GFX. There we go. Okay. Here it is. I open it up in Paint for some reason, but I don't know about you, but I would say that's a pretty spiffy logo, if I do say so myself. It sounds like the Anaheim Ducks. It's a pretty dang good logo, if I do say so myself. You have kind of like the logo style. I actually had to pen all of this because it actually looked kind of bad in its original state. But yeah, that font is insane. Thank God to whoever made that font. We have our little muck in the back. So there's that. And alright. So that, I'm gonna get up out. This is probably a long ass video, but I don't care. And I will see you all then. So I'm gonna get up out of here. This is Carrier5 signing out. Thanks for watching, everybody, and have yourselves a good day.